Alrighty. So the part we left off on, here we go. Part we left off on Tuesday is we needed to figure out why this account quota doesn't exist, and I think we actually figured that out. Treff was here, I believe, right? And I believe the main step is we need to handle all of these delete before hooks before anything else so that we don't accidentally delete something that another test needs. So we should fill in all of those deletes. So let's move this on down to the bottom. Okay, so first and foremost, deleting a quota and deleting... Yeah, deleting a quota and a balance are the first ones we want to do. And yeah, how's everyone's Thursday going? How is your Friday Eve? And hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss some other stuff. Yeah, if you work out of your comfort zone, you can learn a lot. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so it's going to be delete quota, which we had. A delete would be a 204, which means, not that. And we would not have that header. All right, so then this would be a post to a new quota. Damn, Super Maven nailed it on that one. Here's the thing, though. We're going to call this new quota ID. Because, yeah, we have quota ID from before. So then we can get rid of the body. And I think that is that. And then we'll do the same thing for delete balance. All right, and then we just want to update this log just in case. And you know what? I wonder what the transaction is. Oh, we need to do async. Because I'm wondering if we could actually make some boilerplate, like if the transaction is already giving us like that value, because then, making an abstraction for this stuff would be a lot easier. At least cutting down on like some of the boilerplate. But really, it would just be that, right? Like the try catch logic. Meh. It's not that big a deal. All right, so what I want to do here then is we want to make this be the only hook that we actually run. And we want to make sure that actually works. That one passes. All right, sweet. So then let's double check the balance. That one passes too. Let me double check I did the right one. Yep. Okay, so we can clear that out, but what we end up needing to do is we need to clear out the database and rescaffold. All right, so this takes just a second. But can we go all the way back up? Yeah, we get to here. Yeah, some of these other 404s are going to be a problem. Like status code 404 makes sense for that, but oh, that is not a post. That should be a patch. So that one's actually an easy fix. Yeah, we'll deal with it in a sec. What I'm looking for is mainly this number. All right, so then after our scaffolding is done, I'd say that's pretty much done. So we expect this to be a bunch more passing tests, not just only 2 more passing tests. All right, so that post 200 is most likely just a 400 because we don't have a hook for it. All right, let's see it all the way at the bottom. So Lacro, this is all right. So we got 4 tests passing. We're using Dread. So what this means is we are doing testing that is just trying to validate our open API schema. So we got 4 more tests passing by doing that, which is nice, which means that the one we were debugging is probably totally fine. I'm wondering if this update actually worked. Like if that's one of the tests that passed. Okay, so this URL is businesses, business ID, accounts, account ID, quotas, quota ID. Yep. Okay, so our patch totally works now. That was a big part of it. All right. Cool. Now, if we run it again, and let's just do this. Right? Do we still have tests that are deleting things that we care about? And if so, we can identify what entities those might be. So if this number changes on a subsequent run, that means that we've got some state that's being modified rather than creating something that we can just delete and not care about. Yeah, so the main gist is we're going to be generating SDKs using the OpenAPI specification. So that has to be accurate, otherwise the SDKs definitely won't work, right? So if we can trust the OpenAPI spec, we can trust the SDKs, theoretically. We're now doing the internal API, which we're not going to generate SDKs for. But because we already have this kind of like testing framework set up anyway, we can just kind of do it anyway, right? And it helps me like debug some of that stuff. Yeah, lots of passing tests because we put in a lot of the work already. Oh no, we're going to have failures. So most of those passing tests were actually endpoints that we're passing on the public side of things because the public and private APIs are actually the same API, but there are some endpoints that are only private. So we allow an API key for the public and we allow an access token for the private. But then endpoints that are in both allow both. So that's the part we're working on right now. We're testing the internal. And yes, we just started testing the internal on Tuesday. And we spent a good chunk of time debugging why that number changed, and it didn't change here, which means that we're not deleting something on a previous run that is needed on a subsequent run, which means that our tests are now stable, even if they're failing. So that's important. That was a good verification to make. Right? Like nobody likes flaky tests. Eey, gross. So we wanted to make these tests less flaky, and we have done so. So that's awesome. So I will say that is done. But I probably do... we'll do something like that. Because we need to start at the top. Zero trust. What does that mean? Like, I've heard the term bandied about. I don't know what it actually means. Sorry, 1 second. But yeah, so we're gonna start filling in more hooks right there. And this was the first one that we saw failing, so we can kind of start at that point. But let's just go up to the first failures. What's up, Charles? How you doing? 87 in Long Beach. Yeah, it's warm here in Seattle too. I hate it. It's miserable. Dude, that is way too fucking warm. I know, it's not bad, but we barely had a winter. Right? Like, where did winter go? Yeah, see, I'm a snowboarder. I want snow. Honestly, it is getting warm enough to where it could be some fun park days. I am. Yeah. Like Redmond, but yeah, pretty much. Are you? Oh, you used to be in Bellevue. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. Are you still in Washington, like the Seattle area? The weather gods need to be sent to a psych unit. Yeah. Or global warming is real. Oh, so you're still in Washington, but you moved out to the desert. So you're in like eastern Washington then? Or did I misunderstand that? Vacation trip in early April? Where are you going? If you can say. Like, no worries if not. Oh, hold on. I think you might have said like it's like a European vacation, right? So like everything's walking. Getting your very own Griswold vacation in. Okay, so let's go find the first failure. Yeah, I doubt it's Department of Motor Vehicles. London, Paris, that's right. Yeah, I think Charles is talking about some kind of valley, DMV, like something something valley in like Europe somewhere. I believe they said they're in Germany before. Oh, maybe not. DC, Maryland, Virginia area? Hmm. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know, chaotic. Okay, so yeah, we get way past that stuff, and this is our first failure. We don't get a 404 for that endpoint, but we should. Okay. Let me look at our common hook. Should 404. Yeah, same. Oh. Right, so. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that those 404'd, for that 404, we want to replace it with a different business ID. And that should end up being. Yeah, okay. So we got to do that one in its own hook. right, so let's see if that account's endpoint works. I may have named it wrong. And I should go look at that endpoint. I just yellowed it. Yeah, yeah. All right, bad yellow. Let's go look at what that endpoint's description is. Oh, and we can do this. We can just search for it that way. Get account stats. Sure. All right, let's try that one more time. Probably should have renamed it and just rebuilt, but yeah. Damn, yeah, sorry, Coding with Strangers. You rated us. Are you still out there? I realized we were like deep in ranting and didn't give you a proper greeting. I know we did the shout outs and all, but yeah. Ayo. All right, so the stats endpoint works. Now we just need the 404 for the API keys. Hmm. A few of those 404s should actually be easier. It's just two endpoints. Nah, so we want to do the same thing here. What did we call that, though? Oh, that's for the post. So that's create API key. I just realized I think I still have a copy paste error for this part. Yeah, so that test should pass, but we should still get the log. And yeah. Oh. All right, so this is the whole thing. Okay, so we do have that. Yeah. It's going to be on origin. And we could just do action name, example name. Yes, I like that. So while that all is running, so that would be first action name. And example name. Oh. You had bare metal servers where the BMC only provided Redfish for management and serial console of WebRTC. Would that be enough for a backend platform? I don't know. What does everyone else think? I'm not familiar with Redfish. What's up, Code Cannon? How you doing? All right, so that one we actually had successfully go. So the next is the get endpoint for those API keys. Yep, basically the same thing. Get all API keys. IPMI? Okay, so I don't know what IPMI is. It is a Matryoshka question, right? A question that just begs more questions. Intelligent platform management interface. Looks to me like a bunch of, yeah, IBM BS. So yeah, I don't know. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I've never done bare metal. I've always done virtualized, like VPSs kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm totally okay with saying I don't know. That's one of the most powerful things a human being can say. No one likes a bullshit artist. All right, so that get endpoint here, get all API keys. Yeah. So it's not even redfish.com? What are they doing here, man? Yeah, okay, so I get that. Okay, DMTF standards redfish. Okay, interesting. I was just curious, like, what redfish.com actually went to then. Something totally different. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. Like, standards organizations are crazy. I just went to a meetup last week. TC39 was there, and they are a part of. Oh shit, I'm forgetting all of this now. They part of W3C, I think. But then they were talking about how they communicate with like, I think IEEE as well, and like just totally separate standards bodies, but they still need to like align. And it just sounds like so much corporate bureaucracy. But you know, if it works, it works. Was it IEEE? No, I think it was ISO. Yeah, it's funny that like the like TC39 has so many like Bloomberg people, right? Like I don't know, you wouldn't normally think about Bloomberg when you're thinking about web technology. So I thought that was weird. All right, so that one should work. Now it's going to be these endpoints. So let's at least look at the next couple. Well, Airbnb makes sense, right? Airbnb is like very heavy in like the JavaScript world. You know, they had one of the biggest or most used set of like ESLint rules and stuff like that for a long time. So Airbnb I kind of expected. Oh, right. So API key ID. Uh, are we generating API keys in our fixture data? I don't know. When I hear Bloomberg, I think like banking. You know, like so I expected Bloomberg to be all COBOL or something, right? So yeah, I guess that's the big thing for me. All right, here we go. Here's our fixture data. Are we generating API keys? I think we are. Let me see where we're doing that. Oh, and right, like we'd want to create an API key anyway, just because, yeah, the delete endpoints and all that. But we could do our fetching using these IDs. Okay. Yeah. How many endpoints involve the API key ID? It's just one set. That makes sense. I'm a little surprised the 401 and the 403 don't work. And the 404 should as well. So, all right, let's look at some more of that. All right, that one, oh, hold up. Oh, hold up. We're getting a 404, but it's not even like a proper 404. This is the no such key 404, which means we've got a routing issue. So we've got a get, a post, and a delete. That actually looks like it should be there. Ah, I see it. I see it. It's businesses, not business, right? We've got business over in those pages. So we'll be able to fix a bunch of those. We'll still fail out on the delete, so we want to fix that anyway. But yeah, if we go create here, that one is at least businesses. The delete, This one says business. That was our bug there. So yeah, our get and our post was actually fine. So that get we have fixed. It's these deletes, and the 401, 403, 404 will work. The 204 will not because we want to delete it, and we need to create one before it. Yeah. Let me double check one thing in our hooks. .403 reader token. Yep. All right, so that'd be perfect. So now that should be fine there. And then, yeah, we should have passing tests all the way up to the login. Okay, so yeah, what we want to do is pnpm scaffold. And that part should be good now. Moment of truth. I probably need to get some of those log statements out of there. We'll do it in a minute. So our delete still failed. All right. So we're close. My guess is there's something up with that part. Ah, okay. That one is easy enough. We just need to have a message of API key not found. Hey, Spheriphoria. I'm gonna guess you were doing some Zig today? You got a Dart? Were you using Dart? No, I'm kidding. No way in hell. We'll snooze the ad real quick. But yeah, thank you for the raid. Appreciate you, Spheriphoria. Everyone coming, or not everyone, anyone coming over from Spherophoria's raid, what were they up to? Looks like trying to make their image editor actually usable. And I would assume that was built in Zig. I will say, anyone from my chat, if you guys are interested in Zig, Spheriphoria does a lot of really cool Zig work. I don't know if this was Zig, but yeah. I've been meaning to toy with some Zig for a long time. Who knows when we'll actually get to it. But yeah, it's cool stuff. You used Zig to compile something for work. Interesting. I assume you can't say much, but yeah, any detail you could add. Why was Zig the right choice? Things like that. I'd be curious about that. You know, if you can be vague enough. Ming W? I know I've heard of Ming W before, but I seem to have forgotten what that is. Oh, okay. It's a runtime environment for compilers. Got it. So then what does Zig do? Like, how did Zig avoid the whole minimalist GNU for Windows thing? So wing it. You installed Zig, and then Zig was just able to compile the C code, huh? That's a use case I hadn't thought of for Zig as just like a lightweight compiler environment. I like that. That's kind of genius. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to tweet that because I think that's novel. If you're okay with that. Yeah, do you want me to tag you or anything? Right? Like I could just throw your name in right here. Totally up to you. I just want to make sure. Yeah, no, I like that. That was cool. I didn't even realize you could just use it as a replacement for a C compiler, like toolchain. That's genius. And what's up, Kino? How you doing? That's genius. Is that something that's actually like in their docs and I just haven't read their docs? Did I just expose that about myself? Yeah, because I know like the C interop is really strong. I was just unaware that it's is it not using GCC or any of that? That sounds weird to me. Right? Like is Zig not using GCC or LLVM or does it just simply bundle it in a cleaner way? It was an error you received when compiling something, and it said to use Visual Studio's Ming W32 or Zig. Interesting. Yeah, yeah. I never thought of using Zig as just a standalone C compiler. I don't write enough C, so yeah, I probably never would have come across that, but still interesting. Okay, so real quick for this endpoint, before we got raided, let me at least clue people in coming from the raid. What we are doing right now is we are running Dread, which is Dread.js. So Dread.js is a tool for automated API documentation testing. What it does is it basically just takes in your open API specification and it runs actual requests, right? Like curl style or Axios or who knows what's under the hood. Just HTTP requests against your actual API. And it validates that you can pass the requests that you say it can pass. And it'll also validate that you get the responses back that you say you're going to get. So the error that we just saw is the fact that, yeah, we're getting a 404 like we expected, but we're not getting a message on that. So that's actually the bug. We're not getting a message prop on the body. We're giving an empty body with this 404. So we can validate that nice and easy. And it'll go through and just, if we look at it, look at all of these tests that are being run for us. It's almost like it's kind of running my own like integration test suite without me having to write all of that integration test logic. Now, there is still like stuff that we got to do. Like, if you want to delete something, you probably want it to be, I think idempotent's the wrong word, but you want this test to be able to live in a vacuum. And this test for deleting an API key should be able to run in any order, which means we need to create the key that we want to delete rather than relying upon some kind of state. So we're setting up some state individually for this test, but we're not setting up some global state based upon like the creation hook from like the create endpoint. So yeah, we're creating atomic tests basically. Atomic is probably a better word than idempotent. Yeah. But basically we're preventing like unstable flaky tests by making sure we create the thing we're deleting in that before hook for that delete test. So we do still have to do some of that stuff. For other things, we just replace a value in the path with something that exists already, like an existing, API key or whatever. So that's kind of nice. And hey, what's up, Shreyas? How you doing? So yeah, I need to find this API key endpoint, and we're going to give it a message. Yep, that was it. And that is the last of our API key hooks that we need to do, which is nice. Because, yeah, we don't fetch an individual API key, so we don't have to worry about that hook. The next bit that we're going to need to dig into is this auth login hook. And what is the error we're getting there? So it's a 204, but we're getting a 400 because, yeah, we're passing empty email and that's invalid. So, yep. Now we need to go in and add auth login. So, yep, we're just plugging these holes. Yeah, I mean, we got a raid. So we had somewhere around like 45 originally, just, organically. Technically, we got a raid from Coding with Strangers earlier of about, I want to say, 10 people or so, which is awesome. Definitely helps. And then we got raided by Spheriphoria, who was doing some Zig stuff. And they raided with like 60 people, which is huge. So, yep, that's the big reason. But we're also being productive, which I think, people like. During COVID, it was possible for me to hit like 100 organically. COVID was a time where streamers really ate. I'm not wishing that on anybody because a lot of people died. But, lockdown's good for numbers. I'd rather people have, the freedom to go outside, but, is what it is. So this endpoint is auth login. And I think it's just login. Login/register. That's it. I think it's a 204. Yeah, we're doing empty response on the response schema. So yeah, it's going to be an empty as well. But hold on. This endpoint's going to fail because this needs to be error response. Okay, so that is definitely a 204 empty. We don't need that or that. Nope. All right, so then looking at the list, we roll through that. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah. So then auth MFA generate recovery. Yeah, our multi-factor auth stuff is going to be a lot trickier to test. We might skip those and move on to some other tests. Oh, that's an interesting one. So that one's just not even the right URL. We should at least fix that part. All right, so if we go to our ARC files here, we can see auth. And yeah, it's MFA generate secret and MFA generate recovery. Those are the two. Which one is actually failing? We don't know which one. We'll go look at both. All right, so that one looks right. That one seems good. So it's got to be the secret here. Yep. And we can let that one fail. So then we get past it and we look at some of these others. Yeah, any of these MFA generates are going to fail. That's fine. MFA next is also giving us a 404. I should have kept that auth arc file open. Auth MFA slash next. We're just doing MFA slash next. All right. So yeah, all those are going to fail for that endpoint. Auth MFA validate. We got a 400. That's fine. Yep, we're not passing anything correct there. OAuth validate. All right, so that one's incorrect. In auth.arc, it's going to be auth OAuth validate. Yep. is. We'll just say it's part of auth for now. Okay, so then this part. Failed doing a get of business ID balances and then accounts, balance accounts. Okay. So our response there is actually wrong. We call it account balances. So that one is in our response schema. Which, do I have that open still? Response types? Yeah. All right, I'd say we've got enough to do a rescaffold real quick to generate our OpenAPI specs again. And then from here, did I leave anything unsaved? No, we're good. All right, so now we'll see all of our other tests and see if they pass, and fingers crossed. It's not going to be all of them, but we will see hopefully a bigger and better number than previously. I think we were at 202 passing tests a few ago. I think we're going to be up at like 210. It might be higher than that because, right, we have like 4 tests per endpoint on a lot of these. Sometimes it's as low as 2 or 3, but it's going to be a lot of stuff that we fixed for at least a few of those. So I'm going to say at least 210 passing tests. What do we think? Over or under? Hold on. We could put it to a poll. Or, what is it? Bet? Not a poll. Prediction. We're going to start a prediction. All right. This one is how many tests passing? Y'all will be able to bet on it. I would pretty much say nobody should bet for exactly. We'll give it a minute. Right, you can win some channel points if you bet right. Do we think it's going to be over 210 tests passing or under 210 tests passing? We got some conservative bets so far. You'd rather invest in an index fund. Yeah, channel point index funds. When's that going to happen, right? Channel point ETFs. Wow, people have a lot of faith. People have a lot of faith. All right. It should be done. Nobody voted for the under. All right, 214. So, yep. Smart individuals to not vote for the under. Nailed it. People have a lot of faith in my confidence there. Thank you. So yeah, 265 total tests. 51 still failing. Little by little. So then our first failing test now. Always bet on the house? Okay. Well, I mean, I had nothing on the line. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thanks, Tycodes. And yeah, hold on. Do I do / prediction here? Choose outcome over complete. So yeah, I don't think anyone actually won anything because nobody bet against him. And yeah, we're going to expect these all to fail. Actually, that one should have worked. We'll have to see about that one then. Oh, and yeah, there's no possible way we could get a 400 for getting balance payments. That's impossible. Okay, hold on. I'm going to say that one's a public endpoint too. So we missed that part. Which means, yeah, I would say getting all transactions for a balance should also be public. Oh, that's account balances. Yeah, that should also be public. And transactions as well. Yeah. So then, real quick, we'll just go look at quotas because it mirrors a bit of that same structure. Stats, though, yeah, so stats is definitely going to be internal. Let's look at that failure for login. We spit out a 200 instead of a 204. Yep, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. I should have looked at that while we were fixing it. All right, so I want to rescaffold because I think we changed a little bit there. We're going to rerun the tests, and we'll see how that goes. The numbers are actually going to change a bit. Let me go use the restroom, though, and I'll be right back. Alrighty. All right, so 215 because we moved a bunch of stuff out. That login should have worked, though. All right, login worked. Perfect. Those ones we probably won't fix today. But yeah, these stats endpoints, those should be working. Yep. So those two we'll have to put some work into. Yeah, all right. Let's look at these two, the stats endpoints. Wish there was an easier way to skip some tests. Maybe there is, and I'm missing that. Doesn't look like there's a skip. Ooh, inline errors would actually be a good option. Maybe. Yeah. deal with that for now. Let me go look at the Dread docs one more time. Yeah, no worries, Shreyas. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, there's no way to do a skip. That's annoying. Ooh, I do like that we could just do multiple hook files. Oh, that's an interesting point. Hmm. And what up, Doru? How you doing? New sleep schedule and new job? Yeah, no worries. How's the new job? Yeah, we can't skip the MFA stuff. It's fine for now. Going really well? Awesome. I could skip the MFA stuff by just deleting the at route decorator. I don't think I want to do that though. Oh, I mean, we could add skip to the route decorator as well. I forgot about that. We'll just let them fail. Small but hardworking startup. After you got there, you didn't see anything good? What does that mean? Oh, okay. So there's a lot of room to improve things. So basically, you took some initiative and started setting some of that stuff up, right? Yeah, that's actually awesome. Right? Like a lot of people would actually think like, "Oh god, what did I join? Fuck." But instead like, no, there's a lot of like low-hanging fruit to make it better. That's huge. Well done. Ah, yeah. So we're calling this daily monthly and it's actually today and month. That's right. Yep. Okay. Started learning AWS and SQL. Hell yeah. But yeah, like what AWS stuff are you learning? And yeah, where's this? Request response types. Yes. Okay, so EC2, ECR, ECS. all that stuff. Okay, yeah, makes sense. That one stays daily, monthly. Uh, what do you like about it? The size or the yellow? Quota usages. That is not a 204. Oh, that's stats. That one is not empty response. Uh, yep, that one looks right. So yeah, that shouldn't have been a 204. That would be a 200, and then that would probably work. Stats there should work now. Creating a new quota. And failing to create that quota. All right, so I think we have enough endpoints like this where it's a 404, but we don't have anything else we want to like put into it. So we actually want to make the business ID a 404. Which means we can start getting rid of some of those other 404 checks. right, we'll rescaffold. Clear. And then we go back to our hooks. So if it includes business ID and it includes 404, and we don't want includes here, we want ID, or no, we want full path. All right, so then we see get account stats 404. That only has the one. Create API key 404 only has the one. And that should solve a bunch of our other tests too. All right. What do we think? Are we going to be above 220 now? I don't think we need to put it to a vote, but I think we'll probably be above 220 here. All right, they'll be closing doors at 7. Cool, so I can leave here at about 5:30. So yeah, I've got an event to go to tonight. It's called Llama-palooza. It's some AI mumbo jumbo. I'm in. But yeah, someone from Olama will be there. Who else, right? Someone from AWS, someone from Cerebras, someone from Meta. Justin Lee, that sounds really familiar. Someone from Olama. They're going to be giving some talks and some BS. A DJ set, photographer's bar, and food grazing tables, the bar part. I do want to take it easy, but it's hard to pass up a free drink and tech conversations. It'll probably just be beer. I'm okay with that. I massively overdid it last Sunday. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, I'm not going to overdo it tonight. All right, 227. Ooh, that is even better. Oh, man. All right, so let's go to the top. Where's our first failing test? It's going to be the multi-factor stuff. Yep. Did I mess those two up? Payments and transactions should be good. All right, let's see what we did wrong for those two. Oh. It thinks we are going to be getting total, but we just passed today and month. Yeah, that would probably be a good fix. It does mean since I'm going into Seattle, I'm going to be picking up a pizza tonight, though. Hell yeah. All right, so hold on. This is for balance payment stats. Did we have the same problem with quotas? Yes. Shut up, Windows. It's all right. I typically just get pepperoni. And yeah, while that's running, we might as well go up to the MFA stuff. And we can skip it for now, but I'll add a to-do. Because eventually we should figure out a good way to test this. Oh, I forgot to add the to-do, though. And Toto. Yeah, big Marios. I guess we could keep skipping these for a while because it's like the main part of using the dashboard. So if that breaks, it'll be a very quick thing to recognize. Whereas some of the other stuff could fail out way easier. But oh god. What broke that time? Oh no. Oh. It's because I made some changes. Yeah, okay, hold on. All right, I've still got the Watcher going, so when I make a change to the API, it restarts it. So those tests failed because of that. Oops. Shit. What did I break about balances stats? Oh, because it's set as a 204. Yeah, there's no way that's a 204. Yep. Is 350 millisecond response time good? Um, it's not. It's not indicative of what would happen in production because I'm running DynamoDB local, which is a Java implementation of DynamoDB rather than Dynamo itself. I'm also running Architect, which is an abstraction over AWS Lambda, right? Like you can't run AWS Lambda locally either. So these endpoint like response times don't matter. The production response times are going to be much faster. Uh, no, Dynamo is more like I guess you could think of it like Redis. I wouldn't I wouldn't necessarily call it Memcache, but Redis was basically built based off of the DynamoDB white paper. I think it could have been built off of some Cassandra like research paper as well. I forget which one came first. Pretty much every NoSQL database out there either came from Cassandra or DynamoDB. Interesting. So this post 401 and 404, yeah, those just wouldn't happen. Well, 401 would happen. Yeah, that one's weird. The 404 doesn't make sense, though. All right, this user stuff. Yeah, accept invite is one that we might have to skip. Let me go all the way to the bottom and look at our numbers real quick. 223 with 29 failing. And that's because we started skipping the MFA, right? All right, that one right there is definitely not a 204. Let's double check it though. So yeah, expected 204, actual was 200. So that is which endpoint? Balance ID stats. Oh, that's for payments. All right, so get balance stats response. I don't think we actually have that. Uber Toxic, thank you for the follow, I think. I think. Okay, so creating a business name. Yep, create business, businesses, and 400 we can get, 401 we can get, 404 doesn't make any sense. So we're doing a 401 somewhere. Yeah, shit. Yeah, we'll just copy the get user middleware. Hmm. Hmm. Let me double check. Oh. I'm okay with that. All right, so I do need to publish this. It did build, right? Yeah, cool. Cool. All right, so then we skip this song. Oh, and yeah, hold on.
Saddle up, partner.
So yeah, we're good now. I almost forgot the garbage file. Oh no. All right. So those two are fine. Let's do this again. And yeah, I like how quickly this process is going, right? Like, it's a lot of tests. A bunch of them can get generated for us, which is nice. We can have some shared ones between public and private, which is nice. And it gives me a lot more confidence that we built this stuff in a way that works. Yep, all the API keys stuff. Nice, nice. Stats endpoints are nice. We're gonna get failures. I know that. Okay, so then, yeah, posting a business we need to do. Getting businesses should never be a 204. And getting businesses should probably never 404. So we still got some more stuff to do. All right, so that's for fetching a specific business, and it seems like that one works just fine. Perfect. So then get all. I just don't see how that could 404. It could 401. And it'll never be empty. This is get all businesses response. I don't think we actually have that. Yeah, nope. All right, so then that get should be good. 404 will go away. The post for businesses, that's the one we just did. So that one is probably good. Right. Okay, so patching the business is going to be very similar. Updating the business is going to be a 200. Updated business, and we'll call that good. I don't think it matters. Yeah, we'll modify the existing one. I'm okay with that. I don't think we need to make it fully atomic. Getting business logs. Yeah, the log stuff we will ignore for now. Stop skipping this endpoint once we implement audit logs. That's up to you, man. A lot of people watch this stream and co-work while they do it. So yeah, if you're bored, then you're boring. All right, and then we're on to business users endpoints. Yeah, Batu is boring. How's it going, Raimo? What you up to? And Whoozy Fest. How far along is the project now? I don't know. We're close to MVP, I think. We need to get all this endpoint stuff tested, and if we look at it, we've got 23 failing tests of 251 total. We do need to rescaffold, and then we can run again. Just co-working. Exactly. Ship it. Now we want to finish this task. What do we got up next, though? So yeah, test internal API via access token. That's the part we'll finish pretty soon. Generating the SDKs should be pretty quick after we have validated all that stuff. Query string support would be really nice for part of our testing and documentation. We should definitely do that. Because I think that'll play into the SDKs for the public stuff. Some of that we can wait on. Switching to ULID instead of nano ID. We're gonna do that. I know I was like on the fence or even like saying no, we won't do it before, but I think we should. And then yeah, we'll see about these. Dude, yeah, LinkedIn is crazy with social posts. Right? I made that look Simba, everything the light touches is in your job description meme for like dev advocacy. And they're still showing it to people 2 weeks later. Which is kind of cool. All right, so only 20 failing tests. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. All right, so then let's look at what our first failing test is. Posting to businesses should be a 200. Ah, I see. Yep. We needed the application JSON there, and we're going to need application JSON here. All right, so we can assume that's going to work. That patch is also going to fail in the same way because reasons. And then yep, posting business ID users. So hold on. We can definitely have a 400, a 401, a 403, and a 404. Yep. And that's the name we gave it, so that would have been a mistake. All right, so then in this post, it's going to be email and role. They are a read user. All right, so we'll expect that to succeed. Yep. All right, deleting a user. Let me get more music going. It is going to be an empty response. We are going to have 401, 403, and 404. That one is a 204. And then, yeah, this part is actually slightly different. All right, so that delete should be good. Ooh, a patch. All right, so yeah, then we create that one, we replace that in the URL, and then we do that and that. We'll give him write permissions and call that good. Oh, okay. So that one, I don't think we're returning anything. So quota adjustments stats, I think that'll just have to be a failure for now. Quota usages stats. Yeah, so quota usages stats is actually going to be something like that. Just have that be empty for now. We'll just say string. Yeah, we could give it like a way deeper type. That's number. That is accounts. I'm not sure I like that being capitalized. I don't think it'll break anything. Oh. So we're doing before limit, not on limit. Oh, hold on. So on overdraft, we want to do. And instead of amount, it's value. Notify before limit type. So then notify on overdraft value. I don't think that is right, though. So hold on. Oh, it really is amount, percentage, and unlimited. Okay. Yep. So we'll leave that to do. Call that good. Yep. Those getters are fine-ish. All right, so that patch is gonna fail. Let's rescaffold real quick though. And let's just rerun, and let's look at where we get with this. And yeah, I really expect these endpoints to be much faster in production. Like, should definitely be sub 100 milliseconds. Maybe some of the longer ones could be up to 300. But those are like the stats endpoints. I'm okay with the stats endpoints being like 300. We will have to profile and measure this stuff, though. That'll be important. I'm pretty sure Amazon, what is it, like Amazon X-Ray should give us some of that, like, telemetry. All right, patching the business, we still failed on. Creating a business user, we still failed on. Some of those should have worked. That is a whole lot of green, though. Yeah, so if we look at the final results so far, we've got 13 tests failing. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. So we should be able to knock this out tomorrow. We'll look at some of the tests that we're skipping. And really, part of my notes, we also want to do check on to-dos in API code. And really, we'll want to check on to-dos everywhere. But if we go look at to-do highlighter, I wish it gave me some numbers, right? Like some value up there or somewhere in here telling me how many I've got. That one's done. And yeah, I know there's like a log statement in here. So it's not this file. Yeah. There it is. Okay. So I do have an event to get to in Seattle. Traffic's probably going to suck because it's a sunny day and people want to leave the house for some reason. But we're at a good point. We're at 234 of 247 total tests. Let's go look at the list a little bit. Some of these I think are going to be some simple fixes. Like these we just tried to fix and I messed something up in that. All right, so those 4, definitely easy. Somehow that 400 did not work. Hold on. That one... Are we just not doing the validation? We're not doing validation. That's it. No, I typically, for front-end code, I typically only do like protractor tests. Like happy path stuff. All right, so yeah, we weren't validating that 400, which means that this is going to be this 200 is going to fail next. And then from there, the accept invite stuff. Accept invite might be trickier too. So we might do a skip on that one. We should also be logging the admin's user ID into our cached files. And then for... All right, let's see. Hold on. Posting... That's wrong. That should probably be a patch. Yep. But all of those fail because something's up. So users/user ID. What's going on there? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so those are 404. They fail out immediately because it should be a patch, not a post. Okay, so yeah, a few of those would actually pass. So one more time, let's just do a scaffold. But yeah, so light up, basically, in my opinion, I don't think unit testing components makes a whole lot of sense. Because the UI changes so often that those are like the brittlest tests you'll ever have. If you end up doing something like Jest, where you're doing snapshots, basically nobody looks at the snapshots. So those are actually like worthless tests. There are certain things that you do want to unit test, but you don't need React testing library for just standard unit tests. I would say if I was building a component library right? Something that I need to share across an organization, that would be React testing library tested. And probably even Jest testing. I just don't see a lot of that use case being valuable for applications. In my opinion, the application, as long as the user can accomplish tasks within the application, it's a working application. So then just scripting a browser to do those tasks is the only thing that really matters at the application level. Now, I say that specifically because the API should be tested and should respond the way that we think it's going to respond. And if it does that, then the UI should behave the way that we've built the application for the UI. So it's about like validating the correct assumptions, right? Validating the assumptions that matter the most. So integration tests are not user behavior tests, right? I will test units that are important, right? Like stuff that does complex math or logic in general, but those are just standard unit tests. I believe in those. I will also do integration tests for the API, but basically, if you're looking at the API as its own self-contained thing, it's really an end-to-end test that we're doing right now, right? Like these dread tests, these are the end-to-end tests for the API, as far as like the API living in its own world is concerned. From there, the only thing that matters for testing the front end to me, if it's an application, is actual like browser scripted, like playwright testing, right? Like full on end to end. It hits a real database, even if it's, like spun up local database. Doesn't matter, right? You spin up the API, you test your application against a real copy of the API. And as long as the user is able to accomplish tasks that you consider important within that UI, then problem solved. I think you get like really diminishing returns trying to do like React testing library stuff. Seems like I'm relying on the hooks a lot. Well, what do you mean by that, Lightspeed? These hooks are validating that I can make a request like a user would make a request, right? Like any application would make a request. As long as the API responds in the ways that we expect based upon given inputs, that's valid testing. So yes, you need to use hooks because that's how you set up the conditions for each test that we're validating. How else would you test the API? You'd write an integration test that calls the API with an Axios or fetch or some bullshit, right? Dread's just doing that for us. But you still have to give Dread the things that you would put inside of that integration test or API end-to-end test. If you didn't want to rely on hooks, you'd be writing all the same exact logic. And everything I have in a hook right now, you would be writing ad hoc as an integration test. So what's the point? What's the difference? Right? Like nothing changes here besides the fact that I'm not having to manually script the fetch requests. They're doing that part for me. And I just simply modify the transaction as it goes. So yeah, we're doing pretty good here, but I do need to get driving into Seattle, so we're going to go raid somebody. Who do we go raid? Who's even going right now? And yeah, this is earlier than we normally end. So maybe there will be more people that we can raid that we haven't been able to raid for a while. Yeah, it should be fun. I don't know, seems cool. I don't register for that many events, so I try to go to them when I can. Oh, we haven't had a chance to raid Code Drift. Yes, this is awesome. All right, so we're going to go raid the Code Drift on Twitch. Everyone here on YouTube, thank you all for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm really excited to be like wrapping up this testing. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer. We did say it was going to be a week, but within that week estimation, I didn't actually count the private API. And the private API has been going much quicker. So yeah, YouTube, I will see you tomorrow. Cheers. Thanks for